All right. So the adverse is then, how many weekend beers are there?
Not a bunch. I just
A case.
do.
You just do
24.
What? No way.
I mean, don't put it past me. It could be 24. I'm no quitter, but.
Hey, Nothingers, it's Barrett from the All About Nothing podcast for Everplay Sports and Social Club. If you're in the Columbia area, I want to let you know that Summer League registration is now open for kickball, volleyball, softball, soccer, and Monday pickleball. You heard that right. If you're looking to get active this summer, Everplay Sports and Social Club is exactly what you're looking for. Summer registration for Tuesday Super Rec Kickball at B Avenue, Wednesday and Thursday kickball, indoor volleyball on Mondays and Tuesdays, Thursday sand volleyball, Sunday and Monday softball, Tuesday and Wednesday bowling, Wednesday soccer, and Monday pickleball. New for this summer bowling league at Bolero and Casey, 10 full weeks of league bowling. So visit everplaysocial.com for details and registration. That's everplaysocial.com. Play, socialize, and have fun. Everplay Sports and Social Club. This episode of the All About Nothing podcast is brought to you by GOT Sound Studio. GOT Sound Studio offers a variety of experiences: music, voice, and instrumental recording and production, video, and still photography. GOT Sound Studio has all of your media needs met. Owned and operated by Dominique Stewart, the Neek the Geek, experienced artists as well as up-and-coming will find everything they need to create. Bring your media needs to one of the most talented producers and engineers in the business, Neek the Geek. You can find details by visiting gotsoundstudio.com or calling 803-243-2302. You can also find links in the Friends of the Pod section of our website. Visit theallaboutnothing.com.
The All About Nothing podcast
may have content and language
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Nothingers, to another episode of the All About Nothing podcast. This is episode number 204. I am Barrett Gruber.
I am Zachary King.
All right. Just real quick, we do have a little business to get out of the way. The first thing I want to do is thank John Kosis Jr., the Broadcast and Media Relations Manager for the Columbia Fireflies, for our Nothing or Fire update. Firefly update. We do that every week. So every week you want to know what's going on with the Fireflies. John gives us a little recording. We spit it out there so that everybody can listen to it. But if you want access to all of those, you got to become a member. So you can do that via our website. There's a support link at the top of the page that you can go and do. And then you'll have access to all of our exclusive content as well. Planning has begun for the 2024 Soda City Comic Con. We again will be there. And this is going to be August 24th and 25th at Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. And as we've said in previous episodes, Peter Cullen is going to be there. He's the voice of Optimus Prime from the Transformers. So that is going to be very exciting to get to see him and hear him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you know he was also the voice of I think he was the voice of the Predator? Like he came up with the clicking noise. Yeah, well, that clicking noise. Like I saw an interview, he talked about that he was the guy that basically they asked him to come up with like a monster noise or whatever, and they said, I got to see the character, and they wouldn't show him the character until he said, I can't adapt, I can't
I'm just trying to think of how you even do that.
Yeah, I have no idea, but he's a very talented voice actor. So
well, everybody sit here and listen to me while I figure it out. I'm just kidding.
I thought it was like a clicking noise.
Yeah, it is. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
We'll ask him to do it when we see him.
That's right. Also want to thank Sarah Work for being on the show last week. Had a lot of fun with her.
Yep.
She again is running for South Carolina State Senate District 15. You can check out her website, work4sc.org. Also, everybody, please subscribe and share the show. That's how we get new listeners. Also, if you can, please consider, again, supporting the show financially by visiting our website and clicking on the support link. If you can't do that, please drop a review, hit the 5 stars, give us a thumbs up, or leave us a comment. All of that helps drive our show higher up in the ratings on all of these podcast platforms. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the little notification bell, because then you don't have to go searching for us. This is all intended to make it easier for you. Subscribe. And all of that. What else? I had something else that I also wanted to mention. Oh yeah. A lot of people don't know this because Zach doesn't mention it often enough, but his birthday is falls after this episode, right? Because your birthday's on what?
17th.
The 17th. Okay. So no, this episode will come out and then your birthday. So between this episode and 205, Zach will be celebrating his birthday. Also, Bill did correct me on his birthday. So because I've gotten it wrong several times now, we're going to continue that. Happy birthday, Bill.
Happy birthday, Bill.
Bill Kimler, of course, candidate for SC House District 13. So
can I say that Bill looks fantastic to be 72? It's
right. I mean, and it's, I know that he's going to hit a brick wall here soon. We're happy that Bill's here with us now, and hopefully he'll continue to be here for us. He did actually, I did give him an assignment this week. So I want to go ahead and share that with everybody.
This is Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South and field reporter for Big Media Enterprises Incorporated. Asked by dictator Barrett Gruber to report live from Greenwood about the invading cicadas. Hopefully you can hear in the background the constant noise these suckers create.
You hear that?
I'm going to be quiet for just a bit and see if you can pick that up.
That's crazy.
That's just the ghost of Bill Kimler's past.
It does sound like a ghost, right? I mean, it's just a constant drone, and apparently
this noise carries on.
Yeah,
dawn until dusk. It's like a ghost whistling through the clouds. These suckers have a lifespan of about 32 seconds, 5 minutes, and then fall dead on their feet.
Those are called Kimler snacks.
Just look at how ugly this sucker is. Beady red eyes, big old wings, and they're all over.
Clog your Briggs and Stratton in a minute.
Without seeing one. Now let's pick one up. See this guy?
Oh, this little guy.
Say hello to my little friend.
They are ugly.
They look like gigantic horseflies.
Look at that wingspan. They cling to you. They're pretty sticky, but they don't bite. Apparently, they don't even have a mouth to bite with. Look at that. That's just scary.
They do bite.
All right, get off. These things will land on your neck. You're walking around, and one of these will drop right on your head. Can you imagine that? One just hit me. Look at this guy. He tried to dive bomb me.
It's unbelievable.
I think he successfully dive bombed him.
Look at this sucker.
Yeah, for sure.
They are all over the freaking place. See that? They crawl out of skin and they leave their carcass behind. Oh, by the way, I might as well take this guy home and call him Fred. He has not let go of my finger the whole time. Come on, get off. Get off. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go. Oh, there's another one.
That's insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I for the life of me, I have heard cicadas like in the evening from time to time during the summer.
Right.
But like I am dumbfounded by just how and it's so local because where I live here in Lexington, I don't have any cicadas. Like we get the yearly cicadas later on. But like at one point, and I'll share a link to the video in our show notes, so go check those out. But there was because he shows the holes that they dig themselves out of.
Mm-hmm.
They come out and then they do whatever they do for a little while. They cling to something like a tree or a post or whatever and climb out of their shells, and then that's it.
Let me tell you this: I had not that noise he's recorded there.
Yeah.
I've heard them chirp before, but the in unison droning sound. I went to Chapin this last weekend. It was an engagement party for Colton Sidney, congratulations. Went out there to Chapin and got out of the truck, and all it was that noise.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And apparently out in Chapin, White Rock area, they were calling the police about this noise that's just going on.
Yeah.
I didn't see any cicadas, but that noise was just deafening, droning there the entire time. It was wild.
They're all out there in the trees. So, and in the grass and whatever, but they're just constantly making that noise. And like, cause I was on the phone with Bill a couple days ago, and he went outside with his phone, but he's got whatever type of phone that's got some noise canceling to it. So I couldn't hear that drone when he would sit quietly, but it's legitimate, man. And whatever the cycle is, 13, 17 years or something like that. Greenwood, South Carolina is a hot spot for this cicada plague for sure.
And apparently these two different broods or whatever they call it haven't been out together at the same time in like a few hundred years.
Oh, wow. So it's I guess whatever. It's like the perfect storm.
Yeah, it really
cicadas
is.
or whatever. But yeah, so that was of course was Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South, and Democratic nominee for South Carolina House Seat 13. Again, happy birthday, Bill. I appreciate you correcting me on that.
And Bill also confirmed that there were at least a few people in Greenwood, South Carolina, eating them.
Yes, he did. There was he shared at least a post, some pictures of them cooked or fried or something.
Like I thought one was in a biscuit. You just saw its little head poking out.
Yeah.
I petitioned him to bring that up for the next Greenwood dinner breakfast that we get to go to.
Yeah, nothing turns my stomach more. And you know what? It's crazy. I was in Boy Scouts and I've eaten crickets. I'll
eat a bug.
Grasshoppers. But cicadas. I'm gonna cross cicadas crossing the line. There's too much looking back at you.
too much bug for Barrett Gruber.
It's that. Yes, confirmed. First world country. No reason for me to be eating it.
I get my protein from animals that you can pet.
Yeah. So Zach, did you want to go with your share first, or do you want me to do mine?
Sure, I can pop on this share real quick.
I have a couple. So we'll. I figure if we start with you, then we'll move into mine. Momentarily. So,
sounds good. You reading me? Got me?
I got you. I'm reading you, and we're ready.
This case is that Trump allegedly paid Stormy Daniels hush money to cover up their affair just before the 2016 election. And today, Stormy Daniels told us exactly what all that money was hushing, starting from the very beginning of the night Donald Trump invited her for dinner in his hotel room.
Daniels testified that when she first entered Trump's hotel suite, he greeted her wearing silk pajamas. She says she joked that he stole Hugh Hefner's pajamas and asked him to change, which he did. According to Daniels, when she asked Trump about his wife, he admitted that he and Melania sleep in separate beds. After speaking with Trump for a while, Daniels told Trump he was rude and didn't know how to have a conversation. Someone should spank you with that magazine, she told him. She says Trump then rolled up the magazine and, quote, gave me a look. So she took it from him, told him to turn around, and swatted him on the butt.
That poor magazine.
Yeah, the testimony that she gave yesterday. Of course, we record today's Wednesday, May the 8th. That her testimony was yesterday, but that testimony that she gave yesterday was pretty damning.
That hush money literally did nothing.
No. Well, and ultimately, I mean, I feel like he kind of messed it up for himself on that because, after the hush money payments were made to keep it quiet before the 2016 election, it was, and then it's the whole thing started to come out and it unraveled. I think Trump made it worse by acknowledging it. Like,
right.
What we typically see with politicians that are in control of their mind, is that when things like this come out, they typically don't acknowledge it, because if you acknowledge it or you deny it or whatever, you're giving credence to it. And for the Trump can't keep his mouth shut.
Well, and he might have been asleep when she was testifying anyway.
No, he went pretty apeshit after the fact, because what did he called for the case to be he called for the entire case to be dismissed as a mistrial, because his lawyers were not prepared for Stormy Daniels. And it's
That's so funny. Why wouldn't you be?
Exactly. Literally, this whole case basically revolves around a situation that was created by you, Donald Trump, and then tried to hide the whole thing as a result. And it's like, so what makes you think that I'm dumbfounded by his behavior.
There was an excellent dad joke in there in the comment section, and it said, gives a brand new meaning to magazine.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
It's bad, but it's good.
Donald Trump also suffered during the Indiana primary yesterday.
Poor guy.
He won the primary, of course. I mean, I don't think there was any doubt that he was going to win, but he did not win by a whole lot. I want to say that his the whole for the primary, Nikki Haley pulled like 22 or something, 22% of the vote out of Indiana.
She's Nikki Haley running, right?
Yeah, no. She has not been a candidate for president, for 8 weeks, and there's still people are still out there voting for Nikki Haley. Like, they're going through the effort of going to their precincts and voting for her
to not vote for him.
It's a protest vote.
Yeah, and good for you guys. I mean,
that people voted for Marianne Williamson here in South Carolina, and they voted for Dean, whatever his name is.
Dean Cain, America's Superman?
No, Dean Cain is definitely not America's Superman anymore. That dude
Dean Cain's insane. Yeah.
He went full MAGA. Dean Phillips. I couldn't think of his name, but
I was going to say Howard Dean.
Yeah. And you know what a crazy thing for everyone to flip out over, the fact that he got a little loud, a little too close to the recording, to the microphone. Like that to me is insane. It's so basically I think what we are seeing is, and I get that, the most of the news media, whether they are liberal or they're not liberal or whatever, they are continuing to show these poll numbers that basically are indicating that Trump and Biden are neck and neck. And I first of all don't trust polls, because I think polls, for the most part, honestly, my preference would be to show that Biden's losing by like 10 or 15 points. And because that would potentially inspire people to really get out there and push and make sure that they're voting for him. So if they were gonna, if they're gonna show poll numbers, and we know the poll numbers aren't going to be accurate, then at least show poll numbers that show that Biden's down and that he's having to climb his way out, or have somebody lift him in one of those the handicap chairs that come out of the pool. We'll carry him out of there.
Am I sounding okay real quick?
No, it's switched on you. So Nikki Haley is still pulling in a fair number of votes from Donald Trump during these primaries. I'm not sure how many primaries there are that are still left in this whole election cycle, but my suspicion is that a lot of them are going to continue to wind up going the same direction, because ultimately it is Donald Trump's election to lose, and if the primaries are any indication about what it is that Donald Trump is experiencing with these voters turning out and voting for Haley, I have to suspect that that's just going to continue. But I think it's going to continue all the way into the election. There are so many people out there that that are just they are Republicans that are not voting for Trump in the primary, and when they're leaving, they're going through these exit poll surveys and saying that they won't be voting for Biden in the election in November.
Right.
You know, I don't know. It's crazy to me that that the polls still continue to be the way that what they're showing as far as Biden and Trump being neck and neck.
It's very odd compared to the past few years.
Yeah. Because maybe. Well, I don't want to say 10 years ago, but maybe like Obama, when Obama was running against Mitt Romney.
Right.
Those poll numbers, I think pretty much the whole time were pretty much, I believe they were in favor of Obama almost the entire cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course he won. So the polls pretty much predicted what wound up happening. But like the poll numbers now, I mean, Hillary Clinton, if I remember correctly, was ahead of Trump. Not like super ahead, but she was ahead in it. And going into the November election, there wasn't any reason to be concerned that she might not win. And then
no sane person believed that Trump was actually going to happen.
Right.
It was a clown that was reality show guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of just a character in general. Always has been just a character of a human. Didn't think would be president.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, to transition into another clown, Tim Scott. And if you don't know who Tim Scott is, I'll just say, watch any of the rallies for South Carolina. Tim Scott is almost always in the background somewhere. Even when he's supposed to be in Washington doing the job that he's being paid for, he's still in Washington. So just a quick dive into who Tim Scott is. I'm not going to give him a girl's middle name, I promise. Born September of 1965 in North Charleston, South Carolina. He served in the Charleston County Council from 1995 to 2009. So he's got a good 16-year span there. He served one term for the South Carolina House of Representatives from 2009 to 2011. He then served one term in the U.S. House of Representatives for South Carolina's 1st Congressional District. He then assumed office of senator for South Carolina when he was appointed by then Governor Haley to replace Senator Jim DeMint, who stepped down to become the president of the Heritage Foundation. And he wasn't president of the Heritage Foundation for super long, but that's what he did. And if you don't know what the Heritage Foundation is, it's an activist American conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C. It was founded in 1973, and it took a leading role in the conservative movement in the 1980s during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, whose policies were taken directly from the Heritage Foundation studies, including its book Mandate for Leadership. Now, the Mandate for Leadership is a book series that comes out at the beginning of every president's term, regardless of whether they're Democrat or Republican. But it's basically a conservative plan during that next administration. So they've already released the book cover for 2025. So be prepared. That'll be hitting none of your bookshelves at any point in the future. I promise.
Is the cover like a carnival?
Yeah. So Tim Scott is in the running, he hopes, to become Donald Trump's vice president if Donald Trump gets reelected. And Tim Scott is a sycophant for Donald Trump.
Oh, straight up boy. Yep. Absolutely.
If I was able to say some of the words that to describe Tim Scott that are in my head, I would probably get kicked out of several.
He's
places.
A bootlicking twat.
He's not. It's just based on he's been in politics since 1995, and in my head, I'd have to imagine a scenario where Tim Scott actually understands what it is that his job is that he's been elected to do. Now, in the Senate, Tim Scott has done nothing. When he was in the U.S. House of Representatives for those 2 years, he did nothing. When he was in the South Carolina House of Representatives, he did nothing.
No.
This is an individual who has been in South Carolina politics and represented South Carolina for a long time.
He was a nothinger before nothinger was a thing.
So I have to go back and look at what was it about Tim Scott for Nikki Haley that she said, this is the guy that we need to take Jim DeMent's Senate seat. And then like what is it about Tim Scott that there are people out there that are like, oh, this is our guy? I don't get it.
Well, Nikki Haley was her Clemson education.
Okay.
You don't know why I hate Clemson. I just do, and I'm going to keep it a secret.
Yeah. So I've got a clip that I want to share. This happened over the weekend. This is Tim Scott on NBC this past weekend. So I'm gonna play this for us.
Here we go.
The hallmark of our democracy is that both candidates agree to a peaceful transfer of power. So I'm asking you, as a potential VP nominee, will you accept to commit to the election results in this election cycle, no matter who wins? Just simply yes or no.
I expect President Trump to win the next election. Listen, I'm not going to answer your hypothetical question when, in fact, I believe the American people are speaking today on the results of the election. And if it continues for the next 6 months, we find ourselves in a great position where we get back to another century of American prosperity. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That is my statement.
But is it just
this is an issue that is not an issue, so I'm not going to make it an issue.
Well, Senator, will you commit to accepting the election results of 2024? Bottom line.
At the end of the day, the 47th president of the United States will be President Donald Trump, and I'm excited to get back to low inflation, low unemployment.
Wait, Senator, yes or no? Yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024, no matter who wins?
That is my statement.
Jeez.
But is yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024?
I look forward to President Trump being the 47th president. Kristen, you can ask him multiple times.
Senator, just a yes.
Brother.
So the American people will make the decision.
But I don't hear you committing
for President Trump. That's clear.
I don't hear you committing to the election results.
Here's the challenge.
Will you commit to accepting the election results?
This is why so many Americans believe that NBC is an extension of the Democrat Party. At the end of the day, I've said what I've said. And I know that the American
Did he just build a straw man?
Will be heard.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that President Trump will be our next president. It's that simple.
And just this week, he said that he won Wisconsin falsely, Senator. So again, to the point, you voted to certify the election results of 2020. It's the exact opposite of what you said and did after 2020. Why would you want to be on a ticket with someone where there's such a fundamental difference?
There is clear facts here. President Trump himself said he expects this election to be fair, he expects it to be honest, and he expects to win. That's what the presidential candidate should expect, and I expect the exact same thing. And frankly, the American people agree with him.
He is so desperate to not get removed from the very short list of people that want to be Donald Trump's vice president. But he is so desperate to stay on that list that he can't even answer a hypothetical question. And he keeps acting like this isn't an issue.
Dude, he is the perfect candidate for Donald Trump. He will do exactly as you ask him to do.
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
Yeah. So he said that he doesn't that question, this idea that a president, that Donald Trump doesn't. I'm sorry. It's so perplexing as to the mentality. So if I asked you, let's say you want to be Joe Biden's potential next vice president. Kamala Harris is out. Zach King is in.
There we go. Here I am.
Zach, will you accept the results of the 2024 election, even if President Biden doesn't win?
Yes.
There you go. That's how easy it is.
Yep.
The fact that Tim Scott can't answer that question, knowing that the answer has to be yes. Under no circumstances the answer ever supposed to be no. This country operates.
Yeah. You're right.
It's just insane. I guarantee you, if she were to ask, would you be okay in that scenario? And these are the kind of questions that I would. And she went pretty hard on this, but these are the questions that I want them to ask in those situations. When someone like Tim Scott won't answer the question, when he won't acknowledge the importance of the issue, you have to follow up the question with, So what you're saying is that you are okay with any candidate not accepting the results of an election if they don't go your direction. That's what you're saying. So if President Biden loses and then he decides that he doesn't want to accept the results of that election, and he tells Kamala Harris to stop the January 6th reading of the election results and the counting of the Electoral College votes, all of that, whatever it is that goes on the day that MAGA decided to ransack the Capitol, you're telling me that you are okay with Kamala Harris saying, no, President Biden doesn't have to accept the results, and that she can halt the proceedings of the certification of the election. That's what you're saying.
Well, and here's the thing too. It's kind of a win-win with him. If he was in Pence's shoes during January 6th, he would count it.
Yeah,
he could, because the people around him tell him to. This is not a man of original thought, right? This is a dude who's going to do what people want him to do, which again is exactly why he's perfect choice for vice president for Trump, because he's just going to do exactly what Trump tells him to until that's not who's directly around him, right? Yeah. Like if Trump like the only way I could really put it is January 6th, you put him in Mike Pence's shoes, I think he would have still counted it out, strictly due to the fact that he's in a room full of people going, count it.
Yeah.
Like Nancy Pelosi being his ear, you better count it.
I don't disagree. So
he's like water, path of least resistance.
Yeah.
But he wants the clout, he just wants to be VP.
Right.
He's not going to push anything. What's he going to do? What's his agenda? He'll go by the rule book. That's it. Like he'll be like, what am I supposed to do? Look through the telescope.
And Tim Scott, I just want you to know there is absolutely, positively no scenario where you will be Donald Trump's vice president. Donald Trump doesn't like you. Donald Trump doesn't want you to be his vice president. Donald Trump doesn't want to be on stage with you or be in the same room with you. Donald Trump hates you at your core. And I understand that this is something that people probably don't want to hear. Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump does not like black people.
Well, yeah, and yeah.
Donald Trump doesn't like Muslims. Donald
You sound like Kanye
Islamists.
with Mike Myers. George Bush doesn't like black people.
We have it documented. He's had lawsuits that he's had to pay out because he is a raging racist.
Well, not to mention his casino when he was in court and he was like, they don't look Native American.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's not how this is done. The sad thing is he's going to pick someone much more scary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Do you want
your Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, your Lauren Boeberts, your Matt Gaetzes,
your Christian Knowles or whatever from South Dakota, who I just since our last episode we recorded, I just want to mention it a little bit. We have a dog. I have a dog. Zach has a dog. I have friends. I have lots of friends that have dogs. I have lots of friends that are Republicans that have dogs. And I really, in a situation like what we've gone through with the governor of South Dakota now, where she literally wrote a book, and in that book, she basically gave a confession to the fact that she took a puppy, a 6 or 8 or 10-month-old puppy that was a puppy. It had the maturity of a puppy. She took said puppy, dragged it to a gravel pit, and shot it in the face.
Yep.
A few weeks later, or some period of time later, she took a goat to the same gravel pit and shot it in the face. At some point, you don't call this a gravel pit anymore. You call it a mass grave with some gravel. Or you call it, it's a mass grave with gravel now. That's what that is.
This is our death pit. Yeah.
I don't get it. First of all, why would you put that in a book? She also, in her book, she put in there that she apparently had a meeting with Kim Jong-un. It had to be removed from the book because apparently When asked about it over the weekend, she had not ever met with Kim Jong-un. There's no record of her traveling to North Korea because Kim Jong-un, he doesn't leave North Korea. So it would have had to have been in North Korea, Pyongyang or wherever. But there's no records of her ever traveling there. So she lied in a memoir, a biography about herself that she wrote. She indicated she met with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if the Supreme Leader's gonna meet with her. That says something.
You know what the craziest part is that for the people that support her, because she is MAGA, and those MAGA people will continue to support her, that they look at that as a win for her. They look at her lying in a book that she wrote that some of them potentially were going to read. I can't imagine it was that long or had any words that were more than 5 or 6 letters. But they were going to read her book. And they were going to read this part about her having met with Kim Jong-un and then finding out that she lied about it, that had to be removed from the book. And they're still going to support her because I'm dumbfounded by the behavior.
And then, I don't know that any MAGA person's going to dig too deep. They're like, oh yeah, murder Pitt and met Kim Jong-il. That's awesome, dude.
It's all the things Trump seems to want to do. Trump didn't own a dog.
Oh, and I'm sure that Match Dad Vag has herself a murder hole somewhere on her property in Georgia, dude. Like, yeah, duh.
It's so insane to me. I don't, because I'm going to be flat out honest. If Joe Biden were to come out, okay, let's say Joe Biden, not 82 years old, the potential that something may not be there that he thinks is there, but a Joe Biden who is, let's say, 20 years ago, if Joe Biden had come out and said that he had done something that he very clearly had not done, that Brian Williams got fired from NBC. He was the host of the NBC Evening News, and he claimed that he was on a helicopter that got shot at when he was in Iraq. And immediately the story got shot down because none of it happened. And there were soldiers that were with him at that time. They all said very clearly, and Brian Williams got fired. I mean, they suspended him or let him go or whatever, but he was no longer the host of the premier NBC Evening News half hour or whatever. Lester Holt's still over there.
It was clearly a government cover-up, Barrett, because everyone would have found out that Brian Williams was a T-800 and single-handedly saved all the other men in that helicopter, okay?
But
he's a living organism of an endoskeleton.
But what I'm trying to say is that there are repercussions for lying about things like this.
Yeah. And imagine people getting held accountable for things.
Somehow, if you are MAGA supporters will not hold you accountable. They will not. Cool. There are no repercussions for saying. I mean, the only thing she's suffering from now is the likelihood is she's not going to be Trump's vice president, because there's something. There's even in the MAGA world, there's something a little off about boasting that you shot a puppy in the face. It's a little off.
It just rubs people the wrong way.
It does, and speaking in defense of those people that it rubs the wrong way, good for you. Good for you, because what that says is,
if you don't draw the line at puppy murder, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That indicates to me there's a line. There's a line you will not cross, but apparently that line is so far away that it's got to be the result of puppy murder. Like,
so the red flag is going to be anybody who goes, was it a big puppy?
No, it was a little puppy. It was, and its name was Cricket. The dog's name was Cricket.
Yeah, I took Cricket out to the murder hole. +1.
Like how, so
marked it on her side by side kill count like a fighter jet and drove off.
I'm curious. I was like, if murdering a puppy is wrong, then like how much closer can we get to normalcy? Like how many more steps backwards do we have to take before it's like, okay, murdering a puppy's wrong. Okay, murdering a goat. I'm not going to brag about it. You know what? It's not even that she murdered the puppy. It's that she boasted about it in a book. It's in transcript. It's written.
How boring is that fucking book that the highlight was, I murdered a puppy in my murder hole. Also a goat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't mess with me. I'll kill animals that don't know how to use guns.
And then she tried to explain it to everybody by saying, the dog attacked a bunch of chickens and that it killed the chickens and whatever. And
they do.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't spend the time training the dog, because she said it was a hunting dog.
My God. Was it a hunting dog that went to hunt? I don't know. Other types of birds, maybe?
I mean,
and it saw the chicken and said bird?
There is an instinctual evolution in dogs, the same as humans. The same, there are things that we do that are instinctual, and so my fear is that if, let's say, one of her kids jumped out of the car when visiting a family friend that has
that murder hole ain't filled yet,
that yard chickens, and the kid goes and attacks and kills chickens with its by wrapping its teeth around their necks. Are you going to go and take your child to the murder hole? And
yeah, you have to now. You got to hold up appearances.
For sure.
Well, and the thing is, too, I can relate to this story, all right? I had a chow that would go off and come back with a chicken.
Sure.
We eventually learned to corral.
I thought that was it. I'm sorry.
No, we eventually learned to corral said chow chow.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't go kill chickens. Didn't put him in a murder pit and kill him. Also, second point, I too have murdered a goat lady. The difference between you and me is I didn't maniacally laugh like the Joker over my murder hole. I cried because it was sick.
I am still gonna write that down though. Zach.
No, I'm gonna put it in my memoir. I gotta sell books for it.
Zach murdered a goat.
It was sick.
Look, I'm not going to say that there aren't sometimes necessities in situations where, let's say you live on a farm, and I get that in certain situations a dog is a tool. That if you have livestock or something, that you use that dog, or you train that dog so that it performs a specific task. I fully understand it. But this is not one of those situations where the dog's not doing like I want it to do. I've invested all the time and effort that I'm going to put into training this dog. Now I'm just going to murder it. I'm going to drag it into a gravel pit, shoot it in the face, like stare it in the face, staring into its eyes, and then put a bullet between its eyes. Like
it's like on the level of illogical to the point, and this is not as detrimental, but like having a nail in your tire, and instead of just plugging it, it's a brand new tire, you throw the whole tire away.
Right. You replace the tire because there's
one nail. Like the tire would be perfectly good if you corrected the one thing about it.
And what's the rule on plugging tires? How many times can you plug a tire?
Don't ask me that question, Barrett. I will plug a tire fucking as many times as it holds.
Same as me. I was hoping you were going to say it was like 6 or 7 times because I am one over.
I think you're not supposed to plug it more than 3 times, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, there's a structural issue there.
But I will, damn it. I got 2 in my tire right now.
I have 2 in one tire and 1 in another one. So I'm right behind you. But yeah, no, I just want to iterate for our listeners that neither Zach and I are of the idea that it is. So you have a dog that's not performing the task that you intended with this dog. You're going to replace the dog anyway. I refuse to believe that Governor Nome isn't affluent enough or doesn't know enough people or potentially have the money herself to either keep the dog and not use it for the intended tool that she was going to, and replace it. She's going to replace it anyway. But why do you have why is the end? So the cause is the dog's not doing what you want. So in effect, the dog has to die. It doesn't make any sense to me. These people are crazy.
No, she went full Game of Thrones on this dog for no reason.
And it wasn't even fucking its dad. You know,
no.
like
It wasn't. This dog wasn't doing anything nefarious.
It wasn't a brother sister in a tower pushing a kid out of a tower window. You know,
it wasn't some forbidden uncle anti-romance thing.
Have we got
nephew anti-romance?
Have we got any more Game of Thrones references that we can throw out there that are going to get missed by a lot of people?
I'm drinking to know things.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I'm still floored by that whole thing. You
can't trust somebody who murders a puppy and then writes a book about it.
No, you can't. And if you
dedicates a chapter to a book,
if you're listening to this episode and you live in South Dakota, I'm desperately asking for you to reach out to us. We have a phone number you can call, and you can leave us a message if you're one of these people that either support her or you don't. I would really like to hear from people. We will put your calls on the phone. We will put your phone calls on the
we'll talk
on the show.
to you because we want to explore the mind of somebody who also agrees with murdering South Dakotian dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess the last thing that I wanted to bring up. Well, do you still have another one that you wanted to share?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
Zach's going to share his before we move on to the last one because I've got one that I haven't told you that I was going to ask you, but we'll get to it when we're ready. So
no worries.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's got some more crazy.
Something absolutely crazy going down in Washington State right now. I saw this video clip, and I honestly think everyone should see this video clip. Take a look.
They decided that as the Washington State Republican Party, they would this year take a stand against democracy. And I do not mean this as a metaphor. I am not performing political analysis. I am literally describing what they literally did.
We do not want to be a democracy. Originally, congressmen were elected by a direct democracy. Senators were elected by their state legislatures, and presidents are elected by the Electoral College. We are devolving into a democracy because now congressmen and senators are elected by the same pool, a direct democracy. And with the national popular vote coming, we're going to be electing our president by a direct democracy too.
Okay, first off,
how like where I'm at a loss for words because I have to I'm trying to understand what her perspective is and the idea I want to vote for the president directly. I want to continue to vote for my senators directly, and I want to continue to vote for my congressman directly. I don't want there to be a barrier between
democracy.
Yeah. And we are, so technically what we are is a democratic republic where we vote for the people that represent us. And that's set up by the Constitution. I know that there was a point in history where we voted for the people that represented us at the state level, and then the state level did vote and they did basically pick who it was that was going to be the senator. But we voted for our representatives to Congress directly. And she's right. The Electoral College is how we elect presidents. I'm not 100% in favor of it. I think that the Electoral College fails us at sometimes because Hillary Clinton won by I don't know, millions of votes as far as the popular election goes, but Donald Trump did get to take office, which she conceded. I heard someone on one of the news channels last week or over the weekend where they said that Hillary Clinton still had not yet conceded the 2016 election, and I'm like, that is such bullshit because she conceded the election before Donald Trump even took the stage when it was announced that he won on election night. It's such bullshit. She conceded. I remember watching her speech. And that's not like the Mandela effect. That happened.
It happened. Yeah, she did. We could find that pretty easily. Matter of fact, if you're pissed off on TikTok, don't Google because you're going to find it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm dumbfounded. And I know that Washington is a pretty safe blue state. But you go outside of Seattle, you tend to run because the population is mostly in Seattle, Spokane, that sort of thing. but you go much further to the east into the mountains and then past the mountains and whatnot. It's like California. If you are outside of the major cities, it's red. It is absolutely just red.
Oh, for sure.
But I don't.
And that woman is just a stupid, pissed off person.
Yeah.
who literally just is so angry she wanted to go say stuff before she ever vetted her worldview, or I don't know, looked at a dictionary, decided to Google something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Courier Newsroom there on TikTok, their next video is this particular individual dragging a dog to a pit and shooting it in the face.
Yeah, what a patriot.
Yeah, good. Stand up. Yeah, stand up for the weak. I don't. This is fundamentally just insane. It's another just fundamentally insane situation.
It would have been no less or more insane for her to go in there and bitch about Bigfoot going in and taking her vote.
Agreed. I you know what? And I fully expect that she's one of those people that shows up at the library meetings where they're talking about Bigfoot.
100% she's seen Bigfoot at least 3 times. At least 3 times.
That might
and
be
if you've seen Bigfoot, I don't mean offense.
Yeah. Look, I don't have any issue with people believing in Bigfoot. I am of the mindset that there are things in this world that we don't fully understand or we don't know. And it's entirely possible that when the Neanderthals and the human beings were, colliding and humans are continuing to their genetic code carries on. The Neanderthals are raping the humans and whatnot.
When one great ape loves another great ape, and they make great ape babies. It's just so funny that this woman goes out there and rails against democracy when you're going, the fuck are you talking about? All right, let's take away democracy. Then what are you going to do? So not be where you are saying what you're saying. Because it doesn't matter what you think at that point.
It seems like her only argument in defense of what it is that she's saying is that it used to be that we selected our state legislature selected our senators. It used to be that way. And that's true. That is how it used to be. But it's not how it is anymore, which is a positive evolution for the democracy. The fact that
go
we
be the
get to
change
vote
you
for
want to
them.
see, lady.
Yeah, or move to look. Putin just got sworn in for his next 6 years as president. I have got to believe that he would love your support, ma'am. He would love it. And you're in Washington. It's a quick flight to Russia.
No, you're Privyets and Dotsky You're going to be good.
Yeah. So Zach, I do have a question for you, and feel free to answer this in as freely. Don't think that you're being coerced. This is an honest question that I have, and that is, if your daughter was stranded in the woods, would you prefer that she be in the company of a man or a bear? It's a tough question, isn't it?
It shouldn't be.
I mean, and I don't know that there is a right answer in this situation, but basically,
I'm gonna get hung no matter which way I answer this.
No, not necessarily.
If it's a dude cut from the same cloth I am, then a dude, like a man. I don't want to wear the bear. I don't. The fact that it's 50-50 is just sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You don't know. Well,
I hope. I mean, I don't. A bear is imminent danger, but so a dude can be imminent danger too. But
it's a tough question. So I will tell you what in my opinion, because I don't know anything about this potential man. I don't know what his intentions are. I can't be there to protect her from man or bear. But in all honesty, my experience that in my life with bears, I honestly would prefer that she be in the presence of a bear. and I don't know what the intentions of the man are.
Well,
and
if it's Liam Neeson, I choose the man.
That's okay. That's fair. But so
he has a particular set of skills.
And
he's already saved his daughter a few times.
That's not untrue. That's true. So I do want to share with you some of the reactions on TikTok from this particular question.
Would you rather our daughter be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear?
Stuck in the woods with a man or a bear?
Yeah, like which one would you feel like least worried about?
Man, bear, pig.
Like a man, like a relative man? Or like we know him, he's nice?
No, we don't know anything about the man. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know anything about him.
Do we know about the bear? Is the bear nice?
We don't know anything about the bear either. Like, it's just, we know our daughter's in the woods, and if you had to choose, which one would you feel more comfortable with, a man or a bear?
I mean, I know the answer. I just don't want to say it.
Why? No, just say it.
It's going to be a bear. I don't want my daughter with a random guy in the middle of the woods. I'd rather take my chances.
Interesting.
And that's ultimately where I stand on that as well. I know the intentions of a bear, and for the most part, bears get a bad rap when it comes to interactions with people. But
it's a fucking bear.
But bears have no they don't want to interact with us. If there is someone in the woods that is out there and a bear just happens to be strolling through. Look, from my experience with bears, so twice I was camping. We were on the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina near Cherokee, and it was middle of the night. I had to pee. I basically just sort of climbed out of the tent, stood at the edge of the tent with my feet still inside it, but opened the door. I'm standing outside it, and I have to pee, so I'm going to start peeing. Well, I hear something fall. So I grabbed the flashlight out of my pocket and shine it. And sure enough, there were 3 bear cubs that were on the table trying to get to our food. So I stopped peeing, which is harder than you'd think it is. But I stopped peeing, got back into the tent, closed the tent, because if the cubs were there, the mother was probably nearby. But I didn't experience any danger. I was scared, but I wasn't harmed because I didn't put the bears in a situation where she had to defend them from me. Another time we were hiking on the Appalachian Trail, came around a corner, I walked through about 500 bees and I got stung. And but the bear that had dug out the beehive prior to us walking past it was scared off by the fact that it heard us coming. So again, it was a situation where the bear it was a single bear, didn't have any reasons to interact with us, and it ran off. I just happened to get stung by a bunch of yellow jackets. But
I'm going to give you I'm going to give you an answer. I want to give you the most logical possible answer I can give you.
Okay.
A man.
You're going to still say a man.
Because my daughter is 3 years old.
Right.
If she's in the woods with a bear and she's lost, the bear may not kill her, but she is fucked no matter other way. She's going to roam around the woods. There's a guy out there, and you can't say in this scenario that this guy is a pedophile rapist.
True. No, you can't. But you don't know his intention.
You don't know, but they're in the woods with a 3-year-old. If that's his intent, I believe in the good nature of people, at least for the time being, within 48 hours, 72 hours, that he's going to try to find help, and that fucking a kid is not the top priority of the situation. Fair. Now, what this scenario is doing, what this whole hypothesis is for a woman who is like at least like 13
something,
let's say.
Oh yeah, or it could be a 20.
I wouldn't want my teenage, like, whatever it is. It's a woman that's like. The fact is that men are scary, and I agree 100% that any woman would say I'd rather take my chances with a bear. Absolutely. In my situation with 3-year-old, I'm going to roll the dice that at least the guy would get her to safety at some point. I don't know, but I understand what this whole mind game is about.
And I'll just say I understand the perspective that most women come at this, because they would. I think that if you were to ask Gabrielle, she would probably say,
I'll run from the bear.
I'd rather try to escape from a bear than escape from a man.
100%.
I was just gonna share this last one real quick, because this is a guy that gets a little triggered.
Well, I know we've all seen the video. There's a guy walking around asking women, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear? Most of the women said a bear. I just want y'all, just hear me out. I just want y'all to slow it down and realize that social media isn't real life. Pull up all these fucking stats. 1 in 6 women will be attacked by a man in her lifetime. Only 1 in 1 million people have a chance to be attacked by a bear. Let's think about this. You live with and walk past in your life probably hundreds of thousands of men. You will probably never fucking just walk past a bear, all right? So no shit, okay? I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. The chance that I'm going to walk up on a Kodiak bear?
Well, Kodiak's a poor.
Never, none, ever in life, never. I didn't go to the zoo. Fuck is you talking about? That's one. Proximity. The way y'all be bringing this shit up is ridiculous. The way that should have been, the way that question should have been asked, would you rather be lost in the woods with a bear that wants to kill you or a man that wants to kill you? With a bear that wants to harm you or a man that wants to harm you? So that you could get the real fucking answers. I ain't never hit a woman violently. I ain't never put a violent hand on a woman. I ain't never sexually assaulted a woman. No, none of that. Ever. Now, I ain't never even called a woman out of her fucking name. Not to her face. I think all that is terrible and wrong. But y'all acting like men are scarier than bears? You ain't watched enough nature documentaries, baby. Go watch the one where they trying to get the pictures of that big ass bear and the light from the flash.
I'm just gonna say this. I think he doesn't. I don't know, but.
It is a broad brush to paint all of men.
No,
with.
I don't disagree. But there are more men. There, I don't think that there is an overwhelming number of pedophile men. I don't think that 1 in 3 or 1 in 10 or 1 in 100. But I don't. Because I know what I know what the intention. I know what the behavior of a bear is. I know what the intention. So again, that's speaking from experience. I don't. Some of the people that I see just observing, like if I go to a ball game or I go to the grocery store or something like that, I tend to, because of social anxiety, I tend to keep my distance from them anyway. And my preference would be that my children keep their distance from them. Even my son, my 18-year-old son, my preference would be that they keep their distance from people that they don't know.
No, absolutely, because that you're drawing in America a card out of 360 million people.
360, I think. 330, 360, something like that. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's they're people. It's just as much as you're going to get a crazy woman, but the whole aspect is that I guess here's what they're framing it as: a man is big, strong, hurt woman, and because they're dangerous and psychotic or are going to try and pull something, right? That could be the case, but I don't know about you, Barrett, but it's the same kind of thing when someone's like, "Oh, you're Zodiac, you're a Taurus." Yeah, you're like, go fuck yourself. What a broad brush to paint everyone who's ever lived in May. You know what I mean?
Well,
not every dude's out there. I promise you right now, all men, if I'm in the woods with your kid in a plane crash or something, I'm not making moves. I'm trying to save their fucking life. I promise you that.
And in that scenario, no one ever said it was Zach King or it was Barrett Gruber. It wasn't. But no,
or Drake.
Well, so what if it was R. Kelly?
Oh, fucking bear, dude. And at that point, if the bear is still there, the bear better run. R. Kelly's in the
woods. This whole psychological question has devolved into who would survive in the woods, a bear versus R. Kelly.
R. Kelly or another dude.
Oh gosh, a celebrity death match. Let's get it on.
That's a show that needs to come back.
I agree.
Again.
I think that would be a great one to be about. So Zach says a man. I'm still going to go with a bear, just because.
Preferably Bear Grylls or Liam Neeson.
Those are the men. Well, the good news is if it's Bear Grylls in the woods as a bear, because in Bear Grylls history, he has fought a bear that was a man dressed in a bear suit for television.
Well, if you're a Christian, then it's just you and Jesus out there. So good luck. See, that guy's got your back.
That is, if you've made it all the way to this into this episode, we would like for your opinion on this. So please write us the show at theallaboutnothing.com, or you can tweet, repost, or you can send us a message on any one of the social media. I'd be thoroughly interested in knowing what others think as far as the man versus bear.
Barrett, if you were dropped in the woods, would you rather be out there with another guy or a bear? No, I'd rather be out there with another guy.
Well, I'm just telling you, I would rather it be a bear. Again, I suffer from social anxiety. I would prefer the bear. All
I picture is a plane crash happening, Barrett, and you're like, I'm not the only survivor. Fuck.
Look, I don't have a whole lot of faith in society as a whole, but you put me in a survival situation, I'm probably going to be fine. But if
someone in the fuselage is like, please, I'm right here. You're like,
I don't hear you. I hear nothing. I'm just going to be honest. It's easier for me to survive on my own than with somebody else there. Christy's gnome like,
I'll be back when you're cooked for food.
Chrissy, Governor Gnome's out there like that guy's he's suited to vote for me, and I'm not.
He can come to my murder hole anytime.
I'm not. I am. You know what? If it's me and Governor Gnome in a plane crash, and we both have to, I have to take care of her to survive. Sorry. It's gonna be
yeah. I'll be Governor Gnome. Come check out this sweet.
It's gonna be a real short night. Is all I'm telling you. Those injuries.
It sucks for you all.
You're not going to feel that pain for much longer. I promise. You know what? And on that bombshell, that is going to do it for episode number 204. Thank you, Zach King.
I was hoping for a soul survivor situation.
That's me. I look, if I'm having to go in the woods and find berries and mushrooms and things like that to survive off of, it's easier.
Dude, you'd be like, it's not a Ford, but I'm alone.
Links to past episodes, podcast platforms, merchandise, social media are available on our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly, and you're in the giving mood, why not become an official Nothinger to support the show monthly? Members get early access to this episode, as well as exclusive content. You can make a one-time donation as well there at the same link, theallaboutnothing.com, our website, if you'd like to be a part of the show. And I encourage you to either write us or email us. I did real quick. I did get, before we wrap this up, I did get a comment from a listener. I'm not going to say who the listener was because I'll just say this. They thought that me giving Curtis Loftus girl middle names was hilarious. I was then told later by another listener that Curtis Loftus' middle name is Melvin. To which Bill Kimler then said, he has the most Melvin face I've ever seen in my life. So good,
dude.
Good, Bill.
Have you ever known a Melvin that you were like,
yeah,
they're okay?
No, not once. No, that's not his first name. Craig Melvin. I like Craig Melvin, but that's not his first name.
He's straight up Melvin. I never met a Melvin that was
Curtis
just there.
Melvin Loftus. So for those of you that thought that I was making fun of him or insulting him, you were 100% correct. So if you'd like to be a part of the show, you can call, leave us a message, 803-672-0533. You can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com or join our Discord server. Links are available at the All About Nothing podcast, allaboutnothing.com. Again, everybody subscribe. Thank you for listening. We should actually have a pretty big announcement coming up here in the very near future, to which I'm really, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that we're going to have one of the responsible parties come on with us to make said announcement. I've already...
Tom Hanks, everybody.
Yeah, but what is Tom Hanks going to announce? I mean...
I'll know all about nothing now.
So... That is going to do it. Thank you very much, Zach King. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You all
Thank
stay
you,
safe,
Barrett.
be kind, and
don't get on a plane with Barrett because he will not pull you out of the fuselage.
The All About Nothing podcast is produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. I am Barrett Gruber. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Barrett Gruber or visit my Linktree /Barrett Gruber. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available, including memberships that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. Visit theallaboutnothing.com. To find links to our social media, merchandise, and past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be heard on the show, you can call and leave us a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our partner podcast. Zach and I host What the Pod Was That with Carrie Simmons. Visit whatthepodwasthat.com for links and details. Me takes a deep dive down the rabbit hole in episodes of Welcome to Wonderland. Available on all the podcast platforms. Visit WTWLpod.com for details. As well, you can listen to the political and social conversation between Dr. Jamela Brooks and Bill Kimler on Black, White, and Blue in the South. Available wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please like and hit the notification bell. Thank you for listening. The preceding podcast is a product of Big Media and copyright 2024, all rights reserved. This episode of the All About Nothing podcast is brought to you by Blank Canvas Brand. If you own a business, restaurant, or sports team and you're ready to shake things up with that new, unique image, you need to use Blank Canvas Brand. Blank Canvas specializes in brand identity, including logos and graphics for business cards, flyers, banners, and signs. Blank Canvas offers printing services to help with your clothing needs. Look, when it comes to talent and service, there is no one better. For more information, you can search Facebook for Blank Canvas, or you can email blankcanvas@theallaboutnothing.com. That's BLNKCANVS @theallaboutnothing.com. You can find links in the Friends of the Pod section of our website. Visit theallaboutnothing.com.